The richest people on Wall Street are the most afraid. At the bottom floor, a 21-year-old intern eats cold bodega sandwiches at his desk, praying his spreadsheet doesn't have a single error. At the top floor, a billionaire founder sits alone, watching $200 million evaporate before breakfast, and somehow keeps his hand steady. There are 10 floors inside a hedge fund. Most people never get past the third. After this video, you'll understand exactly why. This is your life at every level in a hedge fund. Picture a glass tower in Midtown Manhattan. Inside that elevator, every floor is a different world. Different salary. Different power. Different price you pay to be there. The higher you climb, the wider the view, and the thinner the air. Let's start at the ground floor. Marcus Chen, 21, Boston, applied to 38 firms.
Ken.
Callbacks
really?
from 5.
That's wonderful news.
Landed one offer.
Yes,
A 10-week summer analyst slot at a $4 billion fund. Pay $15,000 to $25,000 for the summer. Roughly $75 to $90 an hour. According to Glassdoor, he arrives at 7A blank. M, in a suit that costs more than his rent, pulls data from Bloomberg. Formats pitch books nobody will thank him for. Eats a $7 sandwich while his roommates post beach photos from Portugal. 7 other interns. 2 return offers. Everyone smiles in the morning.
I understand that,
and studies each other's weaknesses
my
by
schedule
afternoon.
is just too packed right now.
He hasn't called his parents in 3 weeks.
I'll let you know when I can reschedule.
His girlfriend says he sounds different. He does? He's running on fear. Not fear of failing. Fear of being forgettable. Everyone here was the smartest kid in their classroom. Here, smart is the baseline. The baseline doesn't survive. Whether it's worth it depends on what happens next. Because the gap between this floor and the next is where most people quit. Priya Kapoor, 23, Chicago, full-time at a healthcare fund. Base salary, $100,000 to $150,000, with bonuses pushing past $200,000. Per Levels.fyi. She arrives at 7, leaves at 9:30, on a good day. Hundreds of biotech stocks, 40-tab Excel models, memos returned in red ink. She rewrites, she reruns, she learns. Her friends stopped inviting her out because maybe always means no. 23, making more money than her parents combined. And she can't remember a Saturday she didn't work. According to Gallup, finance employees under 30 report some of the lowest work-life satisfaction of any white-collar profession. Here's what shocks outsiders. The pay gap to the next floor is over 300%. 2 years in, she's a full analyst. Comp jumps to $200,000 to $500,000 per Heidrick and Struggles.
Thank you,
She owns
Isabella.
30 companies in
I look
healthcare.
forward to reviewing this.
Pitches directly to the portfolio manager. 60 pages compressed into 2 sentences. He puts $40 million into the position. 3 weeks later, earnings confirm her thesis. Stock jumps 12%. The fund makes $4.8 million. The portfolio manager walks past and says 2 words. Nice call. That's her standing ovation. She's only as valuable as her last idea. The next one is already overdue. If you've ever poured months into something and watched it reduce to 1 sentence of feedback, you know this feeling. James Whitfield, 36, Greenwich, runs a team of 3.
Excellent
Comp,
work, team.
$500,000 to $1.2 million
later this afternoon.
per compensation advisory partners. He's the portfolio manager's first call before every earnings report.
But the overall
Being wrong
yield is strong.
costs millions.
Execute the transfer by
Being wrong
EOD.
twice costs his seat. He bought a $2.3 million house. His wife says he's never home long enough to notice they repainted the living room. His kids ask why he misses their games. Golden handcuffs. Too good to leave. Too brutal to stay. Trapped in the middle of the building. And the elevator goes both directions. Wait until you see the 5th floor. It's not the reward most people imagine. You got your book. A pool of capital. Maybe 200 million. Maybe 500 million. You are now a portfolio manager. The two letters this entire industry orbits around. Comp. 1 to 5 million or more per institutional investor. Every gain is yours.
While their paths to
Every loss is yours.
differed, both
Nobody
found
to blame.
contentment in the quiet
The purest
luxury
meritocracy in
of their
finance,
morning routines.
and the most isolating, you check profit and loss before your feet touch the floor. Some days, up $1 million before coffee. Some days, down $2 million because Asia reported bad numbers at 3A. M. You control nothing except your response. Most people think this is the destination. It's not. It's where the real fear begins. Denise Lawson, 47, Manhattan. 3 years of consistent returns. In this business, consistent is spectacular. The funds that survive don't blow up. Denise hasn't blown up. Comp, 5 to 15 million. In an exceptional year, 8 figures, her book is north of $1 billion. She meets pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, and endowments. How do you generate alpha?
From the Q3
She's given this pitch 100
our
times.
growth metrics have surpassed
She doesn't mention the position that nearly took her out in 2022. Senior portfolio managers compete for capital from the chief investment officer.
Primarily
Every quarterly review is a trial.
We project
Does the money
sustained
change you?
growth, assuming
Not the
market
way outsiders
stability.
think. It doesn't breed greed. It breeds fear. Fear of losing what you've built. The compensation jump from here? It's not double. Not triple. The number will change how you see this industry. The firm pulls you into leadership. You oversee the research platform.
Our
One
third
great
quarter
hire generates
revenue
tens
is
of
up
millions.
40%. Welcome to the team,
One bad
Marcus.
hire burns
We are
capital
excited to
and
have
wastes a
you.
year.
Thank you. I am looking forward
Remember
to getting
Marcus from the
started.
ground floor? 5 years in now. Watching from below. Wondering if the climb is worth it. Robert Tanaka, 53, Manhattan. Every dollar flows through his framework. Risk limits, strategy approvals, capital allocation. The final decision on the fund's biggest bets,
I'm noting
Comp,
the concentration
10 to 30 million
risk right here.
per institutional investor.
The
He
recent
goes on
developments
financial
in the
television,
financial sector have raised
choosing every
serious
word
questions
carefully.
about oversight. We need
One
to
offhand
discuss
comment
this
at a private
quietly.
dinner once
The
moved
merger
3
cannot
stocks the
happen.
next day. He stopped having casual conversations after that. He's watched chief investment officers fired for disagreeing too often. Watched them fired for not disagreeing enough. The line is invisible. The fund manages $15 billion. Management fee, 2%. That's $300 million a year. Performance fee, 20%. The economics are staggering and fragile. One bad year starts a spiral that can destroy the fund in 18 months. Robert Tanaka, 58 now, started 20 years ago with $50 million. First year, 22% return. Third year, minus 4%, and 3 investors pulled out. He learned something no classroom teaches. People celebrate you when you make them money. They disappear when you don't. 50 million became 500 million, became 5 billion, became 15 billion. At 50 million.
Copy that.
A trader?
Executing the block
At
trade
15
now.
billion. A target. Net worth. 9 figures. Maybe 10. Homes in Manhattan. Greenwich. Aspen. His name on hospital wings and university buildings. But he still comes in before sunrise. Still reads every report. Not because he needs to. Because the markets are the only thing that's ever made him feel fully tested. They test him fresh every single morning. What kind of life is that? Where the scoreboard resets every day, and the only opponent is yourself? So here's the question. You just walked 10 floors. Which floor are you on? And which one are you willing to pay the price to reach? Drop your level in the comments. Not where you want to be. Where you actually are. If you know someone grinding on the 2nd or 3rd floor, send them this video. Sometimes knowing the full map is the difference between quitting and climbing. If you think the hedge fund ladder is intense, wait until you see every level of power inside a Fortune 500 corporation, where the politics are quieter, the stakes just as high, and the golden parachute's worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. That video is next.